Guys, Portland remains under siege. Portland, Oregon, remember, this stuff wasn't going away when Joe Biden won, right? When you give a child who's having a temper tantrum and you give in to them and you give them whatever it is they want, they don't just stop and be satisfied. They recognize that as a tool. Now, if I throw a temper tantrum, I'm going to get whatever it is that I want. So Portland remains under siege. Antifa terrorists, because again, all those people who told us that Antifa is an idea, it's a wonderful idea. It's not an idea. Ideas don't magically light federal courthouses on fire. They don't try to break through doors with federal officers on the other side. Ideas don't do that. Just like guns don't magically shoot people without a bad person operating it. So Portland remains under siege. Pop-up riots have happened in LA and Seattle, but more importantly, there has been zero mainstream media coverage on it. You know, ABC, CBS, NBC, all those major stations with their nightly news programs where you talk about what's going on in America. Zero coverage of this. Zero. They're suppressing the story to make sure you can't educate yourselves, because their entire job seems to be to protect the radical leftist Democrat Party and their failed ideals that are going to destroy this country, right? I'm told if you light a building on fire, that's an insurrection. They've been very clear about this, and yet it only seems to go one way. But more importantly, zero coverage from our mainstream media. There's also zero coverage about 31 of 90 protest cases being just totally dismissed. There's no consequence for those actions. 4 of those cases, 4 of them, involved assaulting a federal police officer. So Antifa terrorists assault a federal police officer and the charges are dropped. Guess how much coverage? Also zero. Now, leftist mayor of Portland, Ted Wheeler, he was apparently either assaulted or something. There was a police report filed against him. Now, this is someone who's, so I call him like the arsonist, right? He was throwing fuel on the fire of all of these things, giving these people a total pass, giving them a total break, trying to defund the police, not calling out the nonsense. He was apparently assaulted or something. I don't know exactly. It's not clear, but there was a police report filed on his behalf. So one of the leaders of the clown show, now they go after him again because they're not going to be satisfied. I wrote a book about it. You can't give in to the terrorists. You don't negotiate with terrorists. These are basic rules, and that's all these people are. Terrorists. So he was now assaulted. Zero coverage. Zero coverage of a leftist mayor being covered, again, because the media is so set in protecting these people, protecting the insanity, because they want to see this crazy idea keep going forward. They want to see the destruction of America as we know it and let these radical terrorist organizations essentially take over. The media is so dead set on protecting the Democrat Party because they know that if you actually heard what was going on, if you were actually informed, you'd say, wait a second, this is ridiculous. We have to push back on that idea. But their job is to make sure you never hear about it. Their job in their minds is to make sure that you focus on everything else so that you could never possibly question this insanity. But guess what? When you have zero coverage of Portland continuing to be under siege, when you have zero coverage of a mayor being assaulted, zero coverage of federal police officers being assaulted and the charges by the terrorists just being totally dropped, and zero coverage from our mainstream media of a leftist mayor being somehow attacked where there was a police report filed, zero coverage. Maybe it tells you something, guys. Maybe these people are actually trying to hide something from you, and they're not just reporting the news and trying to be unbiased in this. Their bias reeks. Be aware of it. Watch out for it. Make sure to share this with your friends so that people can finally start seeing the truth and holding these people accountable.